Oh my gosh, already I'm in a cloud of delight. I'm Katie Puckrik, and I'm a broadcaster, a writer, a singer, a dancer, a performer, a show poodle, and a thrill seeker. I traveled a lot when I was a little kid, so really my earliest memories had to do with being in strange places and smelling these strange places. I remember being about 4 years old, being at an airport and smelling the jet fuel and thinking it was so exotic, and it had all of this promise of like, I'm going somewhere new and strange and different. So I'd have to say that airplane gasoline is my earliest scent memory. Oh, I love this smell. So this is basically the smell of really burnt leather, and it's warm, it's smoky, and I think that this is birch tar, but let's see. Well, I see some black speckles. Oh, you know what? Lapsang Souchong. That's what this is. Lapsang Souchong, which is gorgeously smoky and tarry and goes great with chocolate cake. I think that once I discovered perfume, I locked into the idea that it's a flavor enhancer. It's a way to add further stimulation to my life. I love color. I love exciting food. I love music. I love theater. I love drama. In real life, I love drama. I just love it when people speak in overly Baroque ways, like going the long way around. I love all of that. And so perfume is part of that. I want to feel things more. I want to put things in the bold font. I want, capital letters. I want wow. This one it sort of smells saffrony, leathery. It smells a little bit like a saddle. There's spices in there. What is this? It's a pretty candle. This is nice. Oh, so it's a Madura leaf candle. This is nice. It's my kind of thing. My favorite thing to do as a 10-year-old when I lived in Moscow was to play in the garbage dump that was in the American Embassy compound. So my dad worked in the Air Force, we lived in the American Embassy, and I loved hanging out in the garbage dump because that's where the feral kittens were. So that's where all the feral cats had their kittens, so it was a petting zoo as far as I was concerned. Never mind that it smelled like rancid, rotting trash. It was just rubbishy and garbagey. And to this day, when I smell fresh garbage, I go, kittens. Oh, so growing up in America, there was this candy called Good and Plenty, and there were these little lozenge-shaped licorice candies that were covered in white or pink or black candy coating, and I didn't understand why that was being palmed off as a treat. However, now as an adult, I like it, and I think that this is licorice. It's not, it's clove. It's star anise, hence the star, but it has a flavor profile that is similar to licorice. I stand corrected. The smell of carpets in pubs, which are just totally like sticky and covered with the detritus and the effluvia of decades of customers, mixed with a little bit of whatever spilled over the last 50 years. So it's kind of like all of humanity. I guess if you use the carpet in a pub as a tea bag, you could probably reconstitute the residents of the town for the last, I don't know, 3 generations or something. This is a smell of fireworks. This smells like a match that's just been struck and then blown out. I love this smell. Oh, it's exactly what it is. I'm so good. So I lived in LA for 12 years, and one of the things that people don't expect about it is that there's so much nature there. There's mountain lions, there's deer, there's coyotes, and there's beautiful blooming smells. So there's jacaranda trees in May, there's sage, night blooming jasmine, it's just jasmine that grows wild. So it's such a perfumed environment, and it's also such a toxic environment physically, because there's a lot of clawing and there's a lot of desperation and there's a lot of dashed dreams. So just to push that to one side and lose yourself in the smell, it's a way to put a little bubble of protection around yourself. This is a very smooth floral smell. So it smells like lily of the valley. Oh! If I could bottle an experience, it would be a spring evening in Los Angeles where the rains finally come. They come for a minute, but it's a bit wet. The trees are really fragrant. There are these just local weedy trees that are just overgrown, flotsam and jetsam from nature. And the leaves have such a fragrant, aromatic, almost hay-like smell. It's dewy, it's mossy, it's uplifting and aromatic. And there's so much promise. Spring is always a time of rebirth and a time of like a restart, a do-over. Okay, this year I'm not going to make all those same mistakes. And so I think that's what I would bottle, is the smell of Los Angeles on a spring night. The world according to Arthur. So, dragon-headed bottle. Okay, now we're talking. I love incense. This is all about frankincense. It's made a little friendlier. Frankincense is quite austere. It's quite dark. It's sort of smoky and black. But then it's made friendlier there's some vanilla in there. There's also musk to make it more sensual. There's probably some rose in there just to give it a syrupiness. This is very pleasing to me.